Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Just give me a minute, I will do the dua and then we will start. Nahmadu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem, amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma faqihna fid din, Rabbi zidni ilma, Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir, Rabbi tammim bil khair. Assalamu alaikum, dear team members and my respected audience. Sorry for everything is got a little bit messed up, but I'll try to carry on. So actually, I'm really grateful and honored to be a part of ISIP team and also core member of the Tarbiyah Task Force. That's also under the branch. It's one of the branches of ISIP. And the main goal of Tarbiyah Task is to give a safe space and a productive space to the people here to learn, to get more learned in the field of Tarbiyah, doing Tarbiyah for the minors or anyone under our care who needs to get a good Tarbiyah in alignment with the Islamic values. So that's our main focus. And for that reason, I have chosen today a very special book that is, and that book is by Al-Ghazali on disciplining the self. I have chosen this book because this book is actually really, it has great work done by Al-Ghazali on self-introspection and self-growth. And I feel that one cannot do better tarbiyah unless one has done work on their own self, unless you have done your own self-growth, your own self-introspection work, and your own self-disciplining, you cannot do a better good tarbiyah of anyone. So this book is, I feel, can be the first step. I'm grateful for this opportunity to share this wonderful book on introspection and self-growth. And today we will be going through the first half of the book, which is the introduction written by Lale Bakhtiyar. This introduction explains more of Al-Ghazali's thought process and his important ideas that inform the writings in the second portion of this book. We will try to get your reflections in between the session and have discussion time at the end. So without any further delay, let's get started. First, I would like to give you some background on who Al-Ghazali was. He is one of the great Islamic jurists, theologians, and mystical thinkers, and was involved in Sufi practices from a young age. Al-Ghazali was born in the city of Tust in northwestern Iran in AD 1058. He acquired his basic education in Tust until the age of 27, whereafter he moved to Baghdad, where he was appointed a professor of theology at the Nazimiyya College. At around the age of 37, he went through a spiritual experience which convinced him that knowledge of the divine presence was more important than any other knowledge. Al-Ghazali left on a spiritual journey and traveled to far-off places for a few years in a quest for self-discovery. He returned to his birthplace and stayed there until his death at the age of 53. He left behind over 400 works and writings, among them being his famous work of Ihya ul-Ulum al-Din, Revival of the Religious Sciences, written in Arabic. Just a few years after writing Revival of the Religious Sciences, he wrote the same type of book in Persian about being a Muslim. This is the entire work translated into English called The Alchemy of Happiness, and it is a masterful textbook on traditional psychology, the real name of it being Kimya-e Sa'adat in Persian. I would like to tell you now, this was a brief introduction about Al-Ghazali, very brief actually. A lot can be said about him, but here I would just want to add a short, brief, famous story from his life's journey. And it can be called Al-Ghazali and Robbers. Once upon a time, Al-Ghazali was traveling with a caravan, and some of the looters and robbers, they came to loot the caravan. So when the robbers approached Al-Ghazali, they tried to snatch his belongings, and they saw that the belonging had only some paperworks of some written materials. So Al-Ghazali said that, please don't steal this from me, because this has no value for you. But for me, this is the world, this is my treasure, because this is the whole hard work that I put into throughout my life up till now, and I collected all the knowledge that I gained, and that's in these papers. So on hearing this, the robber said something that impacted Al-Ghazali so enormously. The robber said that, oh, really? If this is the whole knowledge, I'm surprised that what kind of knowledge that you have gained, that knowledge is only on papers. And if someone will steal that knowledge, the papers from you, your knowledge will be gone. So it seems like you haven't gained anything. So that impacted so enormously that Al-Ghazali decided to memorize all of his work done up till now, till that time. And he did memorize all of his work. So this is a very good lesson for us, that whatever we are learning in this life, whatever education or knowledge we are gaining, we should try to process it, try to assimilate it, and also try to bring it into our practices, daily practices. So now let's jump into the introduction of the book by Lala Bakhtiar. Lala Bakhtiar explains Al-Ghazali's 3 fundamentals in this first section, the introduction of the book. Al-Ghazali's 3 fundamentals are in line with modern psychology's ABC, affect, behavior, and cognition. But according to Al-Ghazali, first one is knowledge, that is cognition. Second is states, that is emotion. And the third is action. The first fundamental of Al-Ghazali, that's knowledge and cognition, is a very important aspect of his ideas and whatever knowledge I will just repeat. The first fundamental knowledge, that according to Al-Ghazali, that it's every individual's duty to recognize the oneness of God by their own efforts through evidence and proofs, rather than accepting these beliefs just because somebody said so. He explains that knowledge must be used to come to an intellectual understanding of the following articles of beliefs, that is, God is one, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the last prophet, Quran is the last revelation, and angels and scriptures exist, and there is a life after death. So Al-Ghazali stresses the importance of creating a strategy based on organizing the way we think, feel, and behave according to our belief system. Our 5 senses are the key ingredients of our strategy and include seeing, smelling, hearing, tasting, and touching. They motivate us to take action. When we perceive the world around us using our senses, we can make sure that perception is in line with our belief system. Some of these strategies include 5-time prayers, fasting, recitation of Quran, and supplication. So up till now, we understand that these 2 fundamentals, cognition and actually right now we are on the first one, the cognition. It's a very important thing that we should know what kind of knowledge we are attaining, because this knowledge will be processed by our 5 senses, and then we can make strategies according to basing on these knowledges. So I don't know, right now I want to place a question because this was supposed to be an interactive session, but I will have only 1 or 2 minutes for any one of you. Maybe Sundis can pick anyone from any one of you if you will raise hand and try to give the answer and reflect on this question of mine. So the question is, how have these strategies helped you stay aligned to your belief system in terms of the way you think, feel, and behave in the world? So please, Sundar, can you help me in picking someone from the raised hands and then let them speak for 2 minutes? But we can pick only 1 person after each section, to each slide. Please, go ahead.
Sure. I can't see anyone who has raised their hand. So if someone wants to speak, they can.
Someone, please. Yeah, someone is raising their hand.
Yeah,
Bilal.
I have seen.
Assalamu alaikum. Should I turn on the video or just talk?
As whatever makes you comfortable, brother.
Okay. All right, I will turn it on so it's a little bit more interactive. All right, which strategies, how these strategies helped me to stay aligned to my belief system? Well, what first came into my mind was the prayer, because I mean, like if you, because we are human beings and we forget, and I mean, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said it, that we need constant repetition and reminders. And if you have in mind every day to pray at least these 5 obligatory prayers, of course, this is a strategy to always stay aligned with your belief system, because if you don't do so, it's so easy that we forget it. So I think because we have this obligation and we know we have to do these 5 prayers and we have to integrate it into our daily life, doesn't matter if we are traveling or we are studying or working, etc. To have this in mind every day, especially in the morning and in the night when it's the most difficult times, the Isha and the Fajr prayer, I think, of course, this is a strategy that forces us to stay aligned with our belief system in a good way, obviously.
Very good. Thank you so much. Jazakallah khair, brother. It was very good sharing. Alhamdulillah. And sorry about, you guys can even write your reflections or anything if you want to share, you can write in the chat box and others will read. But because of the time limitation, we cannot take so many people here. Anyway, so let's move on to the second fundamental. And someone is Mohammed Saadullah is waiting in the, yeah, there, sorry. Okay. So the second fundamental is states, that is affect or emotion. Our behavior is the result of the emotional state we are in at any given time. This includes information from our internal senses as well as our physiology. According to Al-Ghazali, once we learn to manage our states or emotions, we can then modify our behavior. Clarity of values is very important because it gives us a sense of who we are and why we do what we do. Living in alignment between our values, and strategies becomes crucial, because if there is internal conflict, we will not succeed in our goals. According to Al-Ghazali, there are 3 energy sources: natural, tabiya, vital, nafsaniya, nervous, hawaniya. These energies are distributed throughout the body and the heart. These energies are distributed throughout the body, and the heart is the main point of contact between the energy of the body and of the self. The way to gain this energy is through spiritual practices and is necessary in maintaining hope and motivation. Now, one of the best coping methods that Al-Ghazali uses throughout the alchemy of happiness is the concept of reframing. Reframing means changing the way we evaluate what something means. Nothing has power over us except for the power we give it through our own conscious thoughts. By doing this, we are at the level of choice instead of reaction. So now we can see that through the second fundamental, by explaining his second fundamental, Al-Ghazali rahimahullah alayh is kind of giving us a very good tool. He's talking about affect, our emotions, and he's giving us a very nice tool to emotionally regulate ourselves. And he's talking about different energy, and the heart being the center of the energy, the receptor of the energy, and the heart can manage to regulate our energies. And the very good one of the tools that's called reframing is a beautiful source through which we can reframe ourselves, reframe our thoughts, and we can bring a negative situation, we can bring it into a positive light. We can see it through a positive light and change it into positivity. So this is something very beautiful. And now I would like someone again to raise their hand, and I'll throw the question, I'll ask the question, and you have 2 minutes. How have you used reframing in the past to guide your emotions and make informed decisions? Please, Sundar, pick someone. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, you can raise your hands.
Please raise your hands, and you can, some of you can even write in the chat box, but please at least one person, somebody can involve in the discussion.
Can I say the voice of the person who is assisting you is very low. It's not audible at all.
Yeah. She was supposed to pick someone, but if someone is raising the hand, Sundas, I don't see. I can hear Sundas. I can hear her. Yeah, it's a little bit muffled.
And Anisha is also here as well.
Oh, Anisha, where are
I'm
you?
back, Alhamdulillah.
Hi, buddy. Alhamdulillah. Welcome. Please take over. Anyways.
Anybody who would like to answer this question?
There is a message of some reflection on the chat. Please read that.
No, actually, we are supposed to know if someone is raising the hand to participate with the, or I move on.
Please move on.
Yeah, there's somebody in the chat who has an answer, so you can read that out loud.
Oh, okay. Anisha will do that because she was supposed to do that, not me.
Assalamu alaikum. Agar, if you can please repeat what you just kindly repeat.
Sure. Yeah. So the question was, I explained the process of reframing. That's a very nice tool explained by Al-Ghazali. It means that we can change the way we are evaluating any situation. We can change the way we evaluate what something means. So if there is a negative situation, and how to handle it is you can reframe it and give some positivity to it, and then take your action according to that new thought, new belief. So my question was, have you ever used the process of reframing in the past or at any point given to guide your emotions and make informed decisions?
Yes, I have.
Please go ahead.
Can I share?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
You see, I used to get very angry. And after certain events in my life, I realized that yes, I do get angry, but sometimes I use that anger, yes, to train someone, my subordinates and other. And I would use the word frustrated for that. Since long, I just kept saying, I'm feeling frustrated. And then I came up with the word flustered. Fluster means a little confused and curious as well. Something between confusion and curious. You know that it is nearer to the word intuition. So you know that, yes, there is something that is bothering you. There is something that is bothering the person who is in front of you, but no one can pick that. So sometimes I use my assertive personality. At others, I would use my softer personality, not the assertive one. So later on, not only I use these two words in my language when I am flustered and when I am frustrated. These two things, that helped me. That helped me in recognizing where it is anger and where it is not anger in terms of frustration, but in terms of energy, where I need to shift the energy between me and the other person who is in front of me. That took a long time, but yes, I did get there. And I'm happy that I got there.
Thank you, sister. Thank you so much. Mashallah, mashallah. That was an amazing discovery and amazing thing to share to be helpful for everyone else here. So let's move on. And I have, let's move on and thank you so much. And we'll ask you the next questions again after the next slide. So the next slide is about the third fundamental, and it's the actions or behavior. The third, it is through the actions that are based in knowledge and emotions that we can bring positive change in ourselves and others. These actions include the 5 pillars of Islam: Shahada, prayer, fast, zakah, and Hajj. According to Al-Ghazali, the bonding power that humans have is an extraordinary form of action. We have the ability to connect with others sincerely through the heart and meet their needs like a mother with her child. Actually, I will just, in this section, Al-Ghazali has spoken about the bonding. There are the way we bond to others. So there are several ways of bonding that he has spoken about. He has explained it here. There is a bonding that we do based on, we connect with others authentically through our heart. And that's the best way to bond, because we can even bond with others intellectually or through some like passionately. On intellectual levels, we sometimes bond with others because of our needs, our needs of fulfilling some goals and dreams, and even we can even connect with others through our passions, through our hopes and aspirations. But the best bonding is when we bond through our heart. That is very selfless, and that's only to understand the other person, to take care of them, and to know about their needs. So this point was explained in the section about bonding power of human beings. And this is also a part of the action. Just all the the ibadas we do, the 5 pillars of Islam, that's also action done by us, but it's kind of a rituals and things. But these are also the actions, our bonding strategies when we are very mindful and we do it mindful. Believers should be master communicators of the self, others, and the sources. He will, Al-Ghazali Rahimullah will repeatedly talk about the 3 ways of communication, that is communication with the source, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, communication with others, and communication with self. He is going to, we will do it now ahead, but he will keep talking about these things. And he has explained that believers should be master communicators in all the areas, all the sections. So we need to be able to communicate effectively in all these aspects that we will cover in the next slide, and we can change for the better and help others as well if we are good in this. So now there is a question again for you guys. When have you bonded through the intellect or passion? And have you seen a positive difference when you connected through the heart instead? If any one of you wants to share their experience, please raise your hands. Because of my slide, I cannot see the whole, so that's why I asked the other
Yes,
moderator.
Soha, you have raised your hand.
Oh, actually, I think Nadia has a.
Go ahead. Okay. Yes,
Yeah,
Nadia.
Assalamu alaikum. Nadia here. So I used to bond a lot through intellect, not through passion, but through intellect. And then I found out that intellect is actually, your bonding with intellect is actually my defense mechanism. And then I started noticing that whenever I start bonding with people through heart, that bond lasted more than the ones that I bonded with intellect. This was my experience in life.
Mashallah, mashallah. That's a very good experience. I'm glad that you were able to discover this feeling and you know about it, mashallah. Thank you so much. So let's move on to the next slide. And now in the later part, Al-Ghazali is talking about the 3 relationships. So these, the first one is relationship to others. Al-Ghazali describes our relationship to others by ranking them in degrees. The first degree is that you love someone for some reason, that you have linked to them with a religious motive, not for a rank or wealth. A good example is love for a teacher who can provide you with important knowledge to improve with an aim for the hereafter. The second degree is even greater than the first, a love for someone for the sake of God, without having any expectations from them. This love comes from an abundance of love for the Creator and crosses the boundaries of passionate love. So in this section, Al-Ghazali Rahimullah alayh is describing the 2 degrees of relationship. And this is very beautiful because the first degree is also, it's nice, it's good, it's nothing haram or anything, not bad. It's very good that when we bond with someone because of some religious motives or any kind of even worldly motives to learn something, and religious motive has to be there. Being a Muslim, we have to be mindful in all of our activities that it's not haram, it's inside the boundaries of our Islam, because that's for our own goodness. So, but that's the first degree. But the second degree is more superior than the first degree when the love is only for the sake. We are not expecting anything from that person. And actually, when we say relationship to others, it not only means our relationship with human beings, with family, friends, and all that, but the relationship in others also covers all the creations of the God, and even nature with trees, plants, and animals. So when we do anything, any kind of service to the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only for Allah's pleasure, God's sake, then this is the most superior kind of relationship. So again, a question is coming in your way, and anyone can even write in the chat box so that other people can benefit from that. But we will pick one person, and the question is, take a moment and think about your relationship with others. Do you have a second degree relationship with anyone in your life? If not, how can you make it possible? Please raise your hand. I think Zoha is raising her hand.
Yes, Zoha, go ahead, please.
Thanks. I just wanted to say that I feel like the second degree relationship is quite difficult to achieve, because if you think about it, with most people in our lives, we do have a first degree relationship. Even with parents, you're still expecting something from them. Parents are expecting something from their children. A lot of times, parents are expecting quite a lot from their children, actually. And I feel like for me personally, the person that came to my mind is my brother. And it did take us time to get to that point, actually. Now I feel there's very little expectation. It's just, we just feel happy that we get to talk to each other and be there for each other. But yeah, I feel like this one is something that you work on throughout your life. And throughout your relationships. And it fluctuates between the first degree and the second degree, in my opinion. Thanks.
Well said, well said. Very nicely spoken. Yeah, you are so true, so true. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult area. We read about it, we talk about it, but to really do that just for the sake of God and not to have any expectation is something like, but hopefully when Al-Ghazali is teaching us and people of the faith and our ancestors did this, we can also do that, but it will be a hard work and we'll have to do real effort for this. But inshallah, if we try, we can achieve it, inshallah. So next, thank you so much, Zoha. Thank you very much for sharing your beautiful reflections. And let's move on to the next slide. And this is about the relationship with the Creator, our relationship with the Creator. Creator means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the guide. According to Al-Ghazali, establishing a relationship with the Creator guide is done through acts of worship. That's called ibadah, the most fundamental means of communication between self and God. Submitting to the will of God is a way of seeking guidance. This is the first step. First, if we need to connect, make our relationship with the God Almighty, He's our Creator. So we have to submit to His will. This is the first step in order to establish the connection with Him. This is done. After that, the next steps comes prayers, reading the Quran, fasting, zakah, hajj, and supplication. These are all the ibadahs and acts of worship. These are all acts of remembrance of Allah Ta'ala, but these are actually time sensitive and place sensitive. Like, when we fast, we can mostly fast in the month of Ramadan. When we say do 5 times of prayers, we do it on their prescribed timings. We read Quran for a while, and zakat and hajj for pilgrimage. We go to Makkah on a specific month. Al-Ghazali is also speaking something here about constant and remembrance of Allah Ta'ala. That a Muslim, a moment is always in the state of ibadah. And he is constantly remembering Allah through all of his deeds. And back there in his mind, he's always aware of the presence of Allah. And he's always mindful for his action, so that everything is in the boundaries of Islam. So Al-Ghazali is mentioning third kind of remembrance of Allah, that is called zikr. Zikr, when we do tasbihat or istighfar, we can do it at any time, lying down, sitting, standing, sleeping. We can always do through our lips, through our heart, can always go on reciting Allah's names, different kind of askar, morning and evening askar, duas, small duas, and even only istighfar is a very big deal. It's a zikr. And this keeps us in the constant remembrance of Allah. And when we constantly remember Allah, Allah remembers us in return. He is always with us. So, sorry, because of the phone, I got distracted. Anyways, so the constant remember zikr askar is a very good tool to keep our connections with Allah Ta'ala all the time. So now, after discussing all of this, there is coming another question that I want you guys to please share what you do to keep your relationship with the higher power strong and constant. Please raise your hands. Yes, Afshin, please go ahead.
Yes, I believe that if we remember the Akhirah and do zikr, zikr is basically remembrance of Allah Ta'ala. So any moment that we have, all the breaths that we are taking are because of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So there is no better way to be thankful. When we are thankful, that's a way of doing zikr. I believe conscientious effort to be aware of Allah is one way of doing that.
Thank you so much. Well said. Thank you so much. Yeah, so true, so true. Zikr is the best way to keep yourself grounded and to stay connected to Allah. Jazakallah khair. So now we are coming to the relationship with the self. This is the main theme of this book, disciplining the self. This is the last section of the introduction, and I will discuss a little bit about relationship with the self. According to traditional psychology, our relationship with the self is the most important. Our self, according to Al-Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi, is made up of body, spirit, soul, and spiritual heart. This is the concept that Al-Ghazali expands on in The Alchemy of Happiness, in the later part of this book, the idea of knowing oneself in greater detail. But let me throw a little bit light on the spiritual heart. What does Al-Ghazali means by the spiritual heart? Al-Ghazali mentions in his book that by spiritual heart, he doesn't mean the flesh part of the body, the organ that is situated in the left part of our chest. He's not talking about that heart. He's talking about our essence, our whole essence, the soul, the spirit that Allah has breathed into us. And that is called spiritual heart. And we have to be very mindful and aware, and we should try to find our spiritual heart, try to get connected to it. And that is done by constant remembrance, by worshipping, by getting aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also doing introspection of our own selves, getting to know ourselves. Then once we are connected with our own self, then from there the transformation begins. And that's the key to all the relationships that one day we will achieve in a balanced way. Anyways, this was the last part of my section here today. And because of the time limitation, I couldn't do the whole book today, but we are planning to do it next Sunday, same time. Inshallah, the rest, second section of the book. And that's the main text of Al-Ghazali. This was only the introduction. And so actually, Anisha will talk to you just in a minute. She will explain to you a few things. Maybe she will
Yes,
send you all, she will send you all to a breakout
yes.
room.
So,
Yeah.
just a minute.
Yeah, 1 minute, Anisha. Let me just tell them about this question here and down the slide. This is a homework for you guys to bring it, prepare. Just think about it a little bit, get prepared. What sort of heart do you want to carry into heaven? So this is just a homework you can take away home with you, and that will give you some thoughts to think about what we did today, and then bring it in our next session. Yes, Anisha, you can take over from here.
Yes,
Thank
so you
you.
all will be sent to a breakout rooms, and there I'm gonna post some questions where you can discuss these questions. So I'll be posting at least 5 questions, and you can choose one question and start the discussion. So I'll give you 5 minutes for that. And here is
I can't see the question.
No, you are supposed to go into the breakout rooms.
Okay, join. Just click.
yes, you have to join the breakout room.
Just click the join and go there and discuss among yourselves over in that room. Anisha, are you still here?
Yes, just a minute.
Yeah, let them go into the room and then you can explain it to me how to go behind. Are they all in the rooms now?
Yes. There are few people who have not joined the group yet.
Okay, they are not joining. Please join and go there. Even if you don't want to talk, you can stay and listen to others. That will be really enlightening. And just join you are getting a message to join, just go there. You'll be 4 or 5 people there and you can talk among each other. It's a very simple question. It's just mind provoking. Provoke your thoughts in this direction, please. Anisha, is there any way I can go to the rooms too? Hello.
Excuse me. What were the questions again? Because they didn't appear anymore.
Yeah,
So now we don't.
Anisha has those. So Anisha.
No worry. If you can tell me, I can take a picture and then I can tell it to my group if you want.
You're right, but let me see if you.
Don't worry. If you have them in mind, I can just write them down and then discuss it.
Anisha will share with you. Maybe she's going to send you in the emails. But right now, I don't know where she went. She's not here again. And
okay, right.
Yeah, I was also supposed to go in the rooms behind her. You are not in the room yet? You are outside, right?
Yeah, I just left because I wanted to ask you guys. But okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Actually, this task was to be done by Anisha, and I don't know where she is. She was actually supposed to explain me also. I was supposed to go behind in the rooms, but I'm not sure. Yeah. And I don't have the questions. I'm really sorry. She had it. Yeah,
no
she
worries.
shared.
I think there's a join breakout room, if you will.
I know. Let me read the questions to you. The questions are, is there anybody here listening to me?
I can listen, yeah.
Yeah. So what was your favorite part of the book was first question. Which information has stuck with you the most? Are there any standout sentences? Sentences or information? Yeah. How did it impact you? Do you think you will remember it in a few months or years? Are there any questions from the book you are still from this section of the book you are still thinking about? How does this book mold your personality? This section of the book, I mean. And has this section of the book affected the way you go about your life? If so, in what way? There's a couple of questions. It was supposed to be written actually.
Okay, it was. I couldn't write down everything right now, but I wrote down.
The questions have been posted in the.
Okay.
Hello, am I audible? I'm extremely sorry. There's a lot of network issue today. The questions have been posted in the chat box itself. So you will be able to see the questions in the chat box.
Anisha, you were supposed to tell me also. I was supposed to go into the rooms. Remember?
Yes, but since you will be able to navigate. Just a minute. You will be able to join the room. If you could see, there is one option over there.
You were supposed to tell me, remember?
Can you see the breakout rooms?
No, I can't. Just give me a minute. I don't know. I actually, because of my slides, I'm not even seeing anything, my room
So-
one. Yeah, now I can see it. Now I can see it. So I can. How
So
can I go?
Okay. I think there is some technical glitch. I'm extremely sorry. I am posting the questions. I'm showing you the slides so that you can see the questions over here right now. Just a minute.
Did you go into the rooms, Anisha? It's only 35 seconds left.
Maybe the questions can be posted on the WhatsApp group.
Actually questions was supposed to be posted on the screen, right, Anisha? Anisha is having so many network problems.
In the broadcast message itself, the questions have been posted. I don't know whether those who have joined the breakout rooms got those questions or not.
You mean in the breakout rooms? The question was there.
Yes. In the message box itself.
No, we didn't get
Hello.
the
Okay,
message.
so it was, yeah, exactly. It was, we were just starting our conversation because we did not know the questions. And by the time Brother Bilal got the questions and we started our question, the breakout room was finished.
Oh no! If we still have time, Anisha, we have 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't really mind going back to the breakout room and talking to Brother Bilal so that we can have his own opinion
So
as
let
well.
me just share the screen. Sister Mahlaqa, can you please stop sharing the screen so that I can share my screen?
Sure.
And then I can share the questions itself.
Yeah, you should have told me that before. I am not very much. 1 minute. Where is this? Ooh, everything takes time. Oops.
So these are the questions.
Nope, can't see the questions.
Can't see the question, me too.
I don't know. There is some technical
Yeah,
glitch.
now we can see.
It's all right.
Post again.
Yeah.
It
Questions,
came
yeah.
right now.
Here we have.
So here are the questions. I don't think so. We won't be needing any breakout rooms any further. So we can discuss the questions over here itself.
Okay. Raise your hands for the first question. Anisha, if you can see, I don't see them because my panel, if somebody's
So-
raising their hands, you can pick them.
Brother Bilal, could you go? Because I wanted you to share your part.
Please, Brother Bilal, go ahead because we are running out of time.
I didn't. Well, it's better if another person answered the question because I'm right now.
Okay.
You can choose any question.
You can choose any
among
question.
these.
Whatever question you want. Yeah, just choose one.
Any of your reflections, if somebody wants to share, that is also welcome.
Yeah, maybe we should not do it like first second. Just pick
Okay,
anything.
then. Okay, I will just pick the last question. How
Sure.
has this affected the way how you go about your life? I would definitely say yes. Coming from as I was socialized and as I was born in Germany, we usually always got to know about the dunya life. So everything you should strive for is like financial success and capitalism. Those kind of mindsets. And I think this book helps you to focus on it, to change your priorities maybe and to have a different mindset. So I would say, in a summarized way, the way how you look at the world changed. Yeah.
Mashallah. Thank you so much, brother. Jazakallah khair for sharing your thoughts. It's amazing that you discovered this. Next,
Ashleen has raised her hand. Please go ahead, Ashleen.
Ji, I just wanted to pinpoint the fact that when we talk about cognition, we didn't speak much about it, but I would like you to elaborate on cognition point because I believe that focus is the main problem that we all face throughout our lives, and especially nowadays people have a lot of difficulty focusing on one thing. And when we are consciously making an effort to even pray, we cannot be focused in our prayer either. And that is really something that we all need to work on constantly.
For sure. So true. Right about
So
it.
true.
Yeah. We are going to maybe most probably, inshallah, we'll be holding more sessions regularly. We'll be talking about all of this, inshallah. Yes, Zoha. Zoha has raised her hand. Please.
Yeah, I just want to say, Afshin, I totally agree with you. I feel like I was talking in our breakout room actually about, let me see who, Akbar mentioned it, that there's pressures of modern life that impact our behavior these days. So I agree. I think with social media and with all this everything so fast these days, there's so many distractions, and it becomes difficult to focus in general. Like even without social media, just things are so fast happening. And I think that is something that we have to contend with, and especially in the future, because it's only going to get even more difficult.
So true. So true. Yeah, this is the challenge we have, the challenge of this era. Inshallah, we will try to bring ourselves to that point to understand how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be calm and more focused, and that we can only achieve if we align ourselves to the spirituality, to the spiritual heart, and we make alignment in our cognition, our emotions, and our behavior. When there will be an alignment, inshallah, slowly and gradually we will get there. We'll get there. We are working on that road. And thank you so much. You guys are all here. That's our purpose. Yes, Hadi Ansar, please share your thoughts.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam, sister.
One of the thoughts that came to my mind throughout this class is that it's just we lack presence of heart in general, like in the Salah especially. But also I think that's the thing, we go through our days on autopilot. And I think if presence of heart is there, your experiences are different and you're constantly reflecting on what you're going through. And I think this is one major problem in the society we live in. As the sister mentioned, it's very fast paced, a lot of things to do. So it's just doing tasks on autopilot without contemplating and without being there in your heart whilst you're doing things. And I think this is really impacting our lives for the worse. And this is, what we have to constantly strive every day to bring our hearts back, to what we're doing.
So true, so true. Well said. Truly, this is the challenge. This is the real challenge of this era. And again, this can only be achieved by the ways, because you're talking about the salah, the presence, focus of mind. That's called khushu, and we are prescribed to do that. But we don't strive for that actually these days. We just do it ritually, like fast paced, and if we will bring our khushu in namaz, in prayers, it will also help us in other areas. That was the major reason for praying and bringing khushu and praying and connecting, because then we will be stable and well regulated in all our other aspects of life as well. But we don't get it. We think that it's a burden and we have to do this taking our time, and just we don't understand we are losing more time. We're losing more time when we are not connecting with spirituality. When we are not connecting. Okay, sorry, Nurul Hada, how much time we have, Anisha?
I think we have to conclude this now.
Okay.
So
really sorry.
it was quite a reflective session, and I'm extremely sorry from my part. Suddenly there was
I missed you.
Glitches that I had to face. Inshallah, for the next session, we'll be keeping in mind what are the problems and deficiencies we have faced in this session. Inshallah, we'll keep those things in mind. So, Jazakallah khairan to all the participants for attending this session. And I hope in the next session, we will be covering the other part. And along with that, we have certain gift hampers for you that will close in the next session, inshallah. So, you all are welcome to the next session. So another meeting is supposed to start at this moment, so we have to get out of this.
Just quickly tell them about the journal you will present, because
yes, inshallah, I'll mail them up. I'll mail them with all the details, and in the next session, that will be a suspense for them. So I hope they will come with a lot of reflections and questions, and then we can.
And we have a gift for you also, a free gift for you. We will tell you in the next session, inshallah.
Yes, inshallah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bye.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful.